Keystone College presents Men's College Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.
Welcome to the campus of Keystone College. Tonight, it's a CSAC showdown in men's lacrosse as Marywood University takes on the home team, the Keystone Giants. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob I, joined topside tonight by Coach Bob Vanderheyden. It's been a great day of lacrosse. We had girls lacrosse earlier this afternoon, then we had a youth clinic. We're going to top things tonight with a great men's game in the CSAC. Both teams going in different directions. Keystone hasn't won a game, so how do you get them to play tonight? And then Marywood, opposite. They have Saturday, they have CSAC playoffs. They have to be up.
Well, for Keystone, it is building. We talked with Coach Lodato earlier this week, and he is building for the future. So even though it's the last game, winless season, he still needs to come out. They still need to play, not hang their heads. From Marywood, they've got some postseason play going on. So they've still got to come for this game, and they've still got to bring it on the field.
To bring it on the field, they're going to rely on a couple of great attack players. We're going to talk about Rob Maney tonight.
Rob Maney, Marywood, senior leader. He's got tenacity. I believe that he's getting really close to the 100 mark as far as goals for his career, so this will be a big game for him.
On the opposite side, he's been a four-year starter. He's been here since the program started for the Giants. Caleb Strope, his last game here at Keystone.
And the last game is always special, so I'm sure he wants to go out fighting, wants to lead his team, and just put a good showing up on the board.
Can the Giants pull off the upset? We'll find out. It's Marywood and Keystone next.
Keystone College presents Men's College Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.
Welcome back to campus. We're at Keystone College getting set for tonight's CSAC men's lacrosse game between Marywood and Keystone. And Bob, you have keys to the game.
Keys to the game. We were able to talk with both coaches earlier this week, and coming from Marywood, Coach Burrell is talking about they need to control the tempo and cherish the rock, which is an interesting word to use. I'm sure we'll talk about that later in the broadcast. If they can control the ball, they can control the game. And in order to do that, as we've said many times, they've got to win the ground balls. Winning ground balls is the path that leads to winning the game. For Keystone, Coach Lodato is talking about, again, the ground ball game, but he's more specifically focused in on the contested ground balls. Those he calls the 50-50 ground balls. He feels if they can come up with those balls, they can control the outcome of today's contest. He's also looking to maintain that first quarter momentum throughout the entire game. That's going to be key. They don't want to get about halfway through the game and hang their heads and then start losing.
Time now to take a look at your starting lineups. First for the visitors of the Pacers, 7-7 coming in. Your defense looks like this. The tall Justin Eichwetter, McFadden, and Seth DeVere will be your Marywood defense. At midi tonight, Butera, Sullivan, and Littman. He'll do the face-offs. And then on attack, we talked about Maney already. Casto, another senior, and then Zach Vaughn is the sophomore. Goalie tonight, backup goalie, Matt Lean, the freshman, getting the start. Goals against, 8.8 on the year, saved 17, and stopped 17 shots this year. So a little bit of inexperience in net tonight for the Pacers. For Keystone, it will look like this. For defense, Batarano, Harris, and Brown. And then at midfield, it will be Smith, DeMarchis, and Strope. And then on attack, Grobelny, Brock, and Corlett. Third member of our crew tonight is Erin Dugan, and she's standing by with Coach Lodato from Keystone.
Well, Coach, I just heard you pumping up your team a few minutes ago. What did you tell them about tonight?
Yeah, when it's the last game of the season, especially with some seniors, you got to kind of sell out, leave nothing in the tank, and, you got your own chance to decide how you want to be remembered. So going to play fast, play hard, and have a good 60 minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're ready to go. So we are set for action here at Keystone College. The face-off taking place. It'll be Littman going for Marywood. He's won 48% on the year of his face-offs. On the other side, DeMarchis 36% on the year. Last time these two teams met, one-sided, Marywood won 24-3. Keystone trying to change that trend tonight. Maybe pull off an upset here, Bob.
Well, that would be interesting. And as we have said many times before, the team that controls the draw and the ground ball has the best chance and best opportunity to control the game. And right off the bat, Marywood came up with that face-off, brought the ball down, took a shot. So they want to test that goalie early.
Yeah, but Tara off the mark. You heard her hit the pole. So it's just left of the goalie. Keystone will use two goalies tonight. They'll start with Vasquez in there out of Ashburn, Virginia. He's made 101 saves on the year. And then we'll see Dean Orofino in the second half, number 21. So this is Vasquez behind the net trying to clear now for the Giants.
Talking with Coach Lodato earlier this week, he had mentioned about how he's got two solid goalies. So looks like Marywood was coming out right off the gun. They wanted to put him to the test to see what they had to deal with first. In talking with Coach Perrell from Marywood Pacers early, he was talking about their few recent losses where they had just missed, they had hit the pipe or they just missed some open net opportunities. We've already seen that here in the first couple of minutes of the play. So hopefully that doesn't jinx them and they can get out of that rut and put out a positive effort here this evening.
Pacers average about 8 goals per game on the year. Shots on goal, 17-9. That's 6th in the CSAC. And they have 223 turnovers on the year. Marywood coming off 3 tough losses. 3 in a row for the Pacers. The last one to the top team in the CSAC, Cabrini, down in the Philly area. They lost 18-2. Shot, goal, Pacers up quickly.
There was a nice quick little move there by number 12. He was paying attention to the defense. If you watch this, he rolls back, he sees the defense moving, and then he's able to just put the ball right in on that on his left side. So Marywood looking at the defense, looking for their opportunities, seeing what the defense has given them, and taking advantage of it there early in the game.
Junior Luke Shedler gets the goal, his 13th of the season. It gives Marywood the early first quarter lead. I'm sure Marywood, after the big loss to Cabrini, would like to put up some goals, have some momentum going into the CSAC playoffs, where they could end up meeting Gwynedd Mercy, who they lost to a couple weeks ago. So they're trying to get some momentum, playing well as they head into postseason play.
Yeah, and we had mentioned that a little earlier. This is the last game of the regular season. And if you just look at the stats, Marywood might come in here a little overconfident, but they've got play after this. They've got postseason that they've got to get ready for. So I'm sure that coach is looking to see who's working together, who still cares about the team and cares about the season. And there's another one just coming straight in right from up top.
They didn't pick up the guy coming in. Pacers score that one. That was number 13,
yeah,
Patrick Dingwell, freshman. Yep. First goal of the year.
And a nice little dodge right across the defenseman up at top, and then he was able to put it in. The surprising thing is both of those goals have gone in on stick side. So, that's not boding well for the Keystone goalies there. And Bob, as you know, it's been raining a lot today. I think it's raining out there right now. And the weather will have an effect on the pockets inside of the sticks. So Marywood might be trying to get an early and big lead just in case that does happen.
Big face-off won by the Pacers. Something Keystone has to do is get that ball back. Thrown out, it will be Giants ball in their offensive side. So this is Tyler Brock trying to set it up from the X position. Brock, a freshman out of York. 5 goals on the year.
Now, for all our viewers at home, we are playing with the dark blue lines, and then the white line is the midfield. Those are lines we are paying attention to here. The long blue line cutting across the field right there is the restraining line, and there's a dark blue crease right around the goal. So
Keystone comes in averaging about 5 goals per game. Shoot about 61% when they do shoot on goal. They're coming off a loss to Elmira, 12-5. That was on Sunday, and they lost to Gwinnett on Saturday, 21-4. So they have back-to-back games due to the weather, which has been tough all year to get these games in. Over and back, Pacer ball.
In talking with the coaches earlier this week, Coach Perel was talking about his Marywood defense. He said that they're very proactive. They have no problem pressing the adjacents. They're not afraid to go out and challenge the offense. We saw that just there, playing defense outside the restraining line, outside the box as we call it. Sometimes that can get a little dangerous, you know, because if the offense is able to get around you out there and then get an advantage in by the crease. But I guess if Marywood is confident going out there and playing defense, they're going to go out and do it.
Typically the Pacers around second or third in the division, in this conference, I should say, behind Cabrini. Another shot, trying to bounce that in. Tyler Perel's 4th season with the Pacers, 34-34 in those 4 years. Last year they were CSAC runners-up, made the playoffs his 2nd year, and CSAC runners-up to Cabrini his 1st season. 3 in a row for Marywood. That meaning.
Bob, something I'm noticing right here, as you can probably see from our replay, one player bringing the ball in, beating the defense, and then taking a shot. If Marywood can keep that going, then they can really dictate this game. Keystone has got to get them to have to share the ball and move the ball around. So, you know, so far the Marywood offense has been all about run and gun. Here it is, coming around the corner and taking a shot.
Kind of rolled that in.
Yeah, nice low shot, low on the ground, all the way in. But Keystone defense is not forcing them to move the ball. But Keystone comes up with this face-off. Let's see if they can get something going.
Good face-off win for them.
Offensively here.
Kuski, the freshman out of Lake Lehman, local school, picked that one up. He'll remain in there, but they lose it on the backside. There's this 6'6".
How tall is he?
He's 6'6". That's easy for you to say. Justin Eichwetter out of Oak Ridge, New Jersey, picked that one up. So the Pacers with a 3-0 lead, just about 5 minutes in. The first period here at Keystone College. Not the way the home team wanted to start. Wanted to try a little bit more competitive, and they have been in the last couple games in the first period. But tonight, against a very well-rounded, playoff-bound Pacer team.
And now we're getting some movement. There's some movement on the offense where I would bet that Coach Perella said, okay, let's run some plays here, guys. We know that we can go in and one-on-one. Now let's see if we can do something that we're going to need to do in the postseason, which is move the ball around. Also, when we were talking with Coach Lodato, he had mentioned about how his defense is very comfortable playing in what he calls their yard. That's that area inside the restraining line. He called it that, and he said that his guys like to cover that area. So they may not be playing defense outside that hard, but once the players come in, that's when the Keystone defense should start really showing some defensive play.
Keystone playing much better defense on this section. Shot off the pipe on the outside. It's retained by the Pacers. That was Zach Fawn, the sophomore out of Nutley, New Jersey.
And once again, Coach Perel had mentioned about how that was something that contributed to their losses in the last couple of games. So I'm sure every time he hears that noise, he's not happy. He wants those balls to go in the net. I'll tell you, it is kind of amazing. The size of the ball is the size of the pipe. And for the frequency that the ball hits the pipe,
you couldn't do it if you tried.
No,
like if you tried to hit the pipe, you probably wouldn't.
You miss it you put it in the goal, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe they should shoot at the pipe. That's what they should do. Start shooting at the pipe, and they'll put that right in the goal.
So to set things back up outside the box. Long possession here for Marywood. Jeff Johnson in a sophomore now. Some of the backups getting in from Marywood. Up 3-0. Gives it off to Vaughn. Dingwell gives it off to Shedler. Both have goals. Stop Vasquez.
That's a nice save.
Good save by the goalie for Keystone. Bad pass, and it was retained
Media timeout.
by Marywood.
Media timeout.
$7:25 remaining in the first period. It's been all Pacers here at Keystone so far.
Welcome back, everyone. Here at Keystone College, a rainy night. Just started to come down a little bit as we get ready for the rest of tonight's lacrosse game. But some exciting news coming out of Keystone College, a brand new football program. And joining me now is their brand new head coach, Justin Higgins. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
What's this process like? I'm sure it's got to be a little daunting at first.
Yeah, I'm not bored, that's for sure. There's obviously a lot to do with the program just starting, and as we get the field ready, locker rooms ready, program ready, coaching staff, so there's plenty to do.
So tell us about yourself, a little bit of your biography, where you're from.
Originally from Warrensburg, New York. Most recently coached at Seton Hill University. A lot of time I spent in New York at Morrisville State University and other places such as Lehigh and Ithaca, so a lot of great places.
What kind of got you interested in coaching?
Oh, I was young. Yeah, probably during grade school. Just always loved sports, and probably paid sometimes more attention to drawing in my notebook than the class sometimes. But just always knew it was something that I wanted to do.
So a unique process coming up for the program. 2018 is just getting ready. 2019 you will play, but not in a conference. And then you enter conference play in 2020. So what do the next few years look like for you?
Well, it's going to be a process. I mean, when you start from scratch, you have to understand that aspect. So 2018 will be an administrative year for us. We can get everything in place logistically, staff, start building the roster. We'll have some class of 18 guys on. 19 will be a club team year, first time on the field, so we'll be able to bring young guys in and really develop. That's the big thing over the next few years, is develop them not only as football players, but in the classroom, strength and conditioning wise, so really get that opportunity.
Fast forward ahead a few years, you got your team already, you're playing in a conference. What do you want to be known for? What do you want your team to be known for?
I think we have to start by being built on character of the people. And I think if we have guys that are willing to come in and understand the process and work hard, the on-the-field part will take care of itself.
All right, Justin Higgins, the brand new head coach at Keystone College for football.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
The last two was lacrosse and track and field, but now this field will look a lot different a couple of years from now, Bob. Some football coming in, new field house coming in to the right, some new bleachers, new press box, so expansion here for the Giants. That was the Keystone College timeout right before we came back from the break. And right now it will be Giants ball, I believe. As you see the rain picking up a little bit, there's Joe Lodato, the second season head coach, Keystone, played his ball at Misericordia University.
Yeah, since the break, the ball has been down to the Giants' offensive end of the field. They're trying to get something going here, maybe call in some plays, getting some movement off ball, see if they can get some opportunities.
Oh,
there's one there.
I heard some pipe, but that one went in.
Went in.
Keystone on the board.
They're hitting the right side of the pipe.
Yeah, and that's their leading scorer, senior Caleb Strope.
And he just kind of took one-on-one with number 9 there. And number 9 tried a lift check, which came loose. And Caleb still had the ball, so he was able to get that shot off. That was actually pretty nice, and that was good. Keystone needs that.
21st goal of the season for Strope. It came in first player in program history, and it's a young program with over 100 points in his career, so the foundation has been set. Now we just have to build upon that.
And as we were talking before in the earlier broadcast, you know, this area is looking to grow the game, build the game. We'll talk with Andy O'Connor a little bit from U.S. Lacrosse in this game here about all the things going on in northeastern PA, which we're trying to grow both the men's game and the women's game, youth game, high school, and, you know, obviously great college teams like these two. Hopefully they keep growing, and you know, that'll give the youth something to strive for. You know, they can, hey, I played it in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th. I want to keep going and play it at college. So it's just a great thing all around.
So Keystone can score. Can they stop Marywood? That'd be the question tonight. So far, they have not given up 3 goals. But it's a defense that's not really made with lacrosse players. When they started the program 4 years ago, a couple guys they're playing other sports. They needed some players. You know, some of those guys just picked up the stip, like Matt Harris a couple years ago, played right here at Lackawanna Trail. Didn't play lacrosse, picked it up. They needed a defensive guy, and there you go. Number 27's out there. So that's the kind of player you have here.
And for the game of lacrosse, you need to have the athleticism. You know, I mean, we've said it in broadcasts in previous years. There's not necessarily a specific position like a quarterback or running back, a wide receiver, what have you, pitcher in baseball. So you need to be athletic. So the fact that Coach Lodato is able to pull upon athletes, even playing other sports, and he can get them out here and they can practice on this lacrosse-specific skills, throwing and catching and using the equipment, well, that's a good thing, and that shows a lot of promise for the future of the program. And right here again, the Pacers have Keystone back on defense, back on their heels. Not sure if Coach Perrell for Marywood is trying to see some particular looks or some particular moves, offensive sets maybe. Right now, Marywood seems to just be controlling the ball. Pull the ball outside the restraining line there, and now trying to work something coming in. Shot from Marywood, but once again, when a team shoots the ball and the ball misses the goal and it goes outside, it goes out of bounds, whichever player was closest to the ball when the ball went out of bounds, that player will then, that team will wind up with the possession of the ball. That was a very nice save, Keystone goalie right there.
Vasquez with the big save. Marywood retaining possession. Coach Perrell yelling out his plays. You saw Coach Lodato imploring his defense. Again, he's still teaching a lot of these players the college game. Great save. Right in the net of the goalie. So Vasquez coming up big now here early on, trying to keep them in it. Late here in the first period. They lose the ball out of bounds.
I'll tell you, it looks to me like Keystone is almost trying to bypass their midfield on a clear. I mean, the defense before made a very nice pass, but it was a long, long pass from one end of the field to the other. And that's not always the easiest pass to catch. Goalie did the same kind of thing, and then right there, the goalie tried to make a line drive pass. You mentioned it. Oh, right behind the goalie there. Caught it. Caught the goalie standing.
It's Austin Mailer, senior out of New Hampshire. 19th goal on the year for him. Extends Marywood's lead now by 3.
Yeah, goalie made a choice there to try to make that save with his arm, his shoulder. Maybe trying to get the stick over would have been a better move, but you know, try to get whatever you can in front of the ball to make that save. You know, you mentioned before about there's a lot of athletes out there and they're getting used to, you know, becoming lacrosse players. You find that some of these passes, those long clearing type of passes, may come from that lack of lacrosse experience. And just because you can throw the ball from one end of the field to the other end doesn't always mean that that's the best thing you can do with it. You know, take some run up there. Yeah, right here off the face-off. It's some kind of a
trip or something.
A trip, yeah, yeah.
So Pacers get that face off, and That's the way it's been going so far. Pacers 5 of 6 tonight on the face-off opportunities. Vasquez right at his chest, bounces off. Giants try to get it back to their goalie.
I think Marywood
player was in the crease.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so now Keystone's got a chance to come down, set up something on offense.
They get it into the box, get it out, and this is Strope who will control most of the offense.
And you see right now what Keystone's trying to do is trying to get their more offense-oriented players out onto the field. So they'll make some substitutions. You know, in men's lacrosse, you've got 3 attackmen that are playing up near the other team's goal. You got 3 midfielders that are running back and forth, and then you got 3 defensemen that are backed by your own goalie. What's happened over the past few years, the development of midfielders that specialize in either offense or defense. There's a goal right there. All right, so Keystone gets another one up on the board.
Again. Another goal for the senior in his last game here. 22 now. And it cuts the Marywood lead with 1:05 left here. Look at it again.
Oh, and a backhand as well. Backhand, put it right over his shoulder. That was a nice nice placement all the way through.
Again, Marywood's main goalie is out tonight, injured. They want to get him ready for the playoffs Saturday. So Matt Lean, the freshman, getting the start tonight. Number 28.
And when we talked with Coach Perel, he did mention how Matt is a freshman. He's got a bright future. He might be nervous, but then he gets settled. So the coach is more than confident that he'll do fine out there on the field.
This one roll right to one of the attack players in the box. So Pacers again winning the faceoffs.
And as we've mentioned many times before, if you can control the faceoff, you can control the momentum, maintain possession, you've got a better handle on the game. So looks like that's what Marywood is doing here. 30 seconds or so left in the first quarter.
It's like we have an injured Giant out there. They work it around. Top shelf shot by Vaughn off the mark. And it was Marywood who was closest, and 26 seconds left. Trying to ride this one out.
That was very good to see all that passing, you know, working together as a team. Yeah, we got one pass, and then another pass.
Well, they passed it around there. We see the replay, but they just scored in the lower box. They passed it around pretty good.
Marywood goal by number 40, Rob Maney.
So Maney picks up his second goal. He's one short of 100 goals for his career.
There he goes. That last goal, he just turned on the speed from back at X and just exploded up over GLE. Once he was clear, as you see, he just adjusted his grip on his stick, put it in the hands that he wanted it, and let the ball fly.
Maney's been around a couple years here for the Pacers. He's a senior. Did have 5 goals this year against Immaculata. He's 29 on this season alone. And he's, you know, out of a hotbed, Massapequa, New York, hotbed for lacrosse. Keystone get a chance? No, it's picked up by the Pacers. Quick run at the goal. Perfect pass and shot off the mark with 1 second left. Maney trying to get 100. And it's knocked down. So the Pacers come in to Keystone and they put up 5 in the first, and they lead by 3 here in La Plume.
Keystone College presents Men's College Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.
Second quarter action on the way. 5-2 your score after the first here in CSAC Men's Lacrosse live from Keystone College. It's been a game controlled by the Pacers, and especially on the face-offs, good passes, and a great save. So the Pacers, 8 of 9 on the face-offs tonight. They have 17 shots, 5 goals, and they're 3 of 5 on clears. Where Keystone has 2 shots on 2 goals, 2 shots, and they're just 1 of 9 from face-offs. So you look at the stats, it's easy to see why Marywood's leading by 3.
Yes, and Keystone has got to turn it around here. They've got opportunity to do it. They've got the ball now, so they should get organized, disciplined, do what they mean to do. You know, they were able to take advantage of a Marywood pass that went a little bit too high.
We have not had, Bob, a man-up opportunity yet for either team. It's been a pretty clean game so far. Shot by Curlette, and saved by the freshman Lean.
And that was a very good save. Nice save. He went down. He read that shot perfectly, and was able to get down and make that a really strong save there.
We want to mention, for if you're watching at home and you have friends outside of the area, they can tune in to fox56.com, watch the live stream. That's at fox56.com. So the Pacers now with an opportunity. 2 goals by Maney. He's the senior, looking for 1 more to top the century mark on his career. Also goals for the Pacers by Shedler and Dingwell. Pass in front, tic-tac-toe. Goal for Marywood. Matt Casto, another senior out of Maryland.
Yeah, Matt just snuck around the crease there. I don't even think the defense realized he was there. Everybody was so focused on the cutter and thinking he was going to take a shot that Matt just put himself in a perfect place, got the goalie out of position, and just capitalized on the opportunity right there. That right there tells me this team is willing to work together. They're willing to share the ball. They can share the job. There's not one person out here that's going to take all the credit. They're going to work together as a team. That's always the best thing to hear. You know, when you're coaching a team, you want to hear that the whole team is working together. That's really what you're going for in the game of lacrosse. And, you know, we mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast. Coach Perel used an interesting term. He wanted his team to cherish the rock. Now, those of us around lacrosse, the rock is in the back of the net.
Is in the back of the net.
There it is.
Usually you hear the rock when for basketball, it's the ball, and that's a big shot for the Pacers. Kyle Butera, another senior out of New Jersey. His 2nd goal of the year.
Very nice shot here. He just kind of lines it up. Defense, as soon as the defense comes out, tries to get in the way. Yeah, nice low shot, low bounce. Makes it difficult to defend that.
Pacers taking over this game.
Yes, yeah, and they're doing what they mean to do. They're not letting Keystone push them around. But that whole cherishing the rock is the ball, but Coach Perel, I think he's the first coach that I've heard use the word cherish the rock. It's more about, most of the coaches are talking about controlling it, but here he wants his team to actually cherish the rock, that when they get the ball, they hold on to it, and they maintain possession, and they move it around amongst their own players right there. And right there, they forced Keystone to make a bad pass that went out of bounds, so Marywood gets the ball back.
Well, when you're down 7-2, you maybe tighten up a little bit. You're trying to make that pass you shouldn't probably make, and you're at home, you're on TV. There's a lot of the pressure.
Sure.
They're just kids.
Oh, sure.
They know it's their last game of the year.
Sure. They want to go out fighting, and you can't blame them for that. They want to make some big plays, and who doesn't? I mean, you know, every lacrosse player gets out on the field, he wants to make some big plays. So let's see if they can now we've got, our set is moving around here a little bit for Keystone. Looks like they're in a inverted triangles type of a form here. They're getting some rotation.
Here's Ivor Collette, transfer. Coming from the coach talked about he was at Northampton with him, Coach Lodato, and then he went and played in the Carolinas for a year and came back here, finish up his senior year of college. He's out of Freedom High School in Bethlehem. And he's been a big addition, 15 goals on the year.
All right, Keystone's doing a good job of moving the ball around here. They're getting some looks. They're getting some movement. This is showing good. Now when the slide comes from Marywood, that's when we got to take advantage of it. Quickly move the ball. Quickly move the ball.
Here's Strope. He has both goals tonight for the Giants. Brock can light up the rock. He can throw it out. He's guarded by a shorty. Let's see if they try to take advantage of that. Tap of the head on a shorty. I know Coach Lodato will try to take advantage. He's picked up quickly by a long pole. Shot outside, off the mark by Jordan Smith. So you're trying to watch that matchup. You have 4 poles out there with the long poles. And those are the long sticks, and then the shorty. So you're trying to get a good offensive guy against a shorty, right?
If they can do that, it's a little bit easier to dodge when a player has a short stick. But when they've got that long 6-foot stick, makes it a little, you got to make a much bigger dodge, a stronger dodge. So if you can get a fast, quick, strong offensive player lined up with a short stick defenseman, you increase your chances on offense to get past them.
Pacers get it over, and they get it into the box, and now they can step back out.
Now, another thing that I had noticed, and again, we were talking with Coach Lodato from Keystone earlier in this week, and he said that a lot of his players were getting used to how much faster the college game is from the high school game that they may have played before. And as I was watching the Keystone offensive movements on that last set, each guy was getting the ball, holding it for a little bit. Oh, there's another shot right over the head of the goalie.
That was number 10 that time. Jeff Johnson, he was matched up on a short stick. He's out of Sun Valley High School, sophomore, 9th goal of the year.
10, Jeff Johnson.
Pacers up 6 now. Just about 5 minutes into this second period.
Right there on that last shot. I'm not sure if when the slide went out to pick up the offensive player, if he got in the way of the goalie and didn't see that shot coming clearly. But those slides need to come out a little bit sooner for Keystone and bother Marywood more. You know, the slides are just coming out and they're just another player that's there, and Marywood is adjusting to it. When those slides, that first or second slide from the defenseman goes out to pick up an offense player that's cutting in, you've got to move in there fast. Oh, a dangerous
loose ball right in front of the goalie.
Dangerous play by Marywood. Sometimes that's a safe play. Throw it back to your goalie because he's not covered by anyone.
That's the face-off guy, Littman, out of Palmyra.
Yeah.
He took it the wrong way. I didn't know what he was doing.
Well, I've seen that happen many times. You throw it back to your goalie because he's the only guy that's not covered.
Yeah.
However, you don't want to throw it to your goalie when your goalie's in front of the net. If he misses it, he could help the other team. So
turned out okay.
Yeah, using your goalie as another player on the field is perfectly fine and great. Also, as we mentioned before, it's raining out here. The ball is getting slippery. The nets of the heads of their stick may not be exactly what they're used to playing with. So, that can make passing and catching a little more difficult.
Fire that from outside.
Apparently, it hasn't bothered the shooting from Marywood, though.
No, not at all. And Shedler, second goal of the evening. Marywood putting on a shooting clinic here. 9 goals
Marywood goal by
in
number
20
12,
minutes of play.
Luke Shedler, unassisted.
And this is a lot. What Marywood is doing here, they're doing a lot of isolation offense. One guy taking the ball, making a move, and they're making a hard, fast move. They're running either down the sides or they're coming from back at X, wherever they're coming from. They're making one solid move to go to the goal and take a shot. And it's working for them here this evening. There have been some sets where they've been moving the ball around, which is good, but most of their goals have come off of that same kind of formula.
Well, you figured the Pacers coming off an 18-2 throbbing to Cabrini. They're going to take it out on Keystone a little bit.
Yeah, they probably do. They probably want to make sure that I would bet that each of the players is like, geez, do I still have it? And they're showing
especially
today that
losing
they do.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
And they lost to Susquehanna, Gwinnett, and then Cabrini. Last win was against Centenary, 7-4.
Which is a close score in Lacrosse. So, getting blown out the way that they did, that may be a little bit of, all right, I got to make sure that I've got it so that I can use it in the postseason again.
11 of 13, on face-offs for the Pacers tonight. Littman doing an awesome job.
Yeah, so now here's Marywood moving the ball around, and they're moving it around very far outside because they know that Keystone is going to is going to keep kind of a tight defense. And they're looking to get that matchup that you were talking about before. And see, they've got it right here with number 8.
Yep.
There you go. Now that one.
I mean, that's one of your better players. Casto, you match him up against his short stick. You're definitely going after right at the goal.
Yeah, and that's what Marywood's doing right there, is they're moving the ball around the outside, okay, and they're all looking to say, okay, who's got the short stick? Get the ball to him, and let's see what he can do. So we got it here again, right?
Yep.
There's the short stick, number 8.
Yep.
Number 8 for Keystone. He's getting kind of beat up this evening. So,
well, I mean, you look at the benches, you can see Marywood had a couple more players than Keystone, and there's a goal, and we'll take a timeout. 10th goal of the night for the Pacers.
Immediate timeout.
We'll take a look at it on the other side.
Keystone College presents Men's College Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by U.S. Lacrosse.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Keystone College. Joining me now, another special guest. This is Megan Sullivan, the head women's basketball coach from Keystone College. Megan, last year was your very first season as head coach. How'd it go?
It went really well. You know, I took over a program that was kind of in its infancy in terms of where they were going, and so I think we made a lot of improvements in my short time here.
Are there any local girls on the team?
For the past 2 seasons, I've had a local girl, Nina Hodanik, from West Korean, and she's been very successful.
So tell us about your background. Where did you grow up, and what's your coaching philosophy?
I actually grew up in Elmira, which isn't too far away, and I went to college there and played basketball there. And I was lucky enough to keep in contact with my coach there, Matt Donahue, and he gave me a job at Catholic University after graduation, and I was there for 4 years, and it kind of sparked my coaching career.
Awesome. So what do the ladies do now? It's off season. Are they allowed to train, anything like that?
Well, they're focusing on their grades, which is, you know, first and foremost the most important thing for us. But yeah, they train on their own. They are very self-motivated, and you know, at this time we can't work out with them officially, so they take it upon themselves to get in the weight room and in the gym.
So what are you focused on now in the off season?
Recruiting. This is a pretty heavy time. You know, we just had our, a first big tournament this past weekend. So it kind of starts a new cycle for us, and we're just kind of focusing on continuing to build the program.
And what are the goals for next season?
Just to keep improving. There's a lot of little wins that we had this year on the court in terms of closing the gaps in our games. And we did, improve, our winning percentage a little bit, which is, again, just the small victories that we're looking to continue to build upon.
Megan Sullivan, head women's basketball coach. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck in the season.
Thank you so much.
Okay, back to you guys.
Thank you, Aaron. Stay dry. He's got the fancy parka out. It's on that plastic thing.
Yeah.
It's fancy.
Yeah,
it is.
Fancy. That's dressed up.
That is dressed up. Oh, off the pipe.
Oh, yet again.
Again.
Oh, nice save.
Vasquez getting peppered with shots now
nice
from the
save.
Pacers, as Keystone unable to control any of the face-offs, also unable to control much of the possession time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right off of the pipe there. It's just amazing how many times it hits the pipe. Every time I see it.
Here's Maney trying to get number 100.
Oh.
100
There he
in
is.
the books for Rob Maney. Third goal of the night. 100 career goals now
University goal by number 40, Rob
for
Maney.
Rob Maney.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that last goal, Rob Maney has scored the 100th goal of his career. How about a nice hand for Rob Maney?
That's a great thing. When I was coaching at
of his career.
University of Scranton, my first year, we had a senior, and I think he got to 99. This is a really nice goal. He's able to dodge a couple of stick checks there, and then just put it, again, high, right over top of the goalie's shoulders. So, very interesting. It also had to do with placement. It was a nice left-handed shot there. So, good for Rob. I'm sure he just made 100 points, so I have a feeling he's not going to stop there. He's going to look to break
Well,
it.
he's got another game left, at least Saturday. There will be in the playoffs. Most likely against Gwynn and Mercy. Take a look at the standings in a little while. So the Pacers trying to finish the regular season above 500. They're 7-7 right now.
And there's a win so far for Keystone. Let's see if they can capitalize on this. They've got the ball. Can they maintain possession? Now, I mentioned before about how Marywood is coming out and they're playing pretty aggressive defense outside the restraining line. That is also going to force Keystone to have to make long passes, or they have to run, dodge, and make some passes under pressure. So if you've got players that are athletic but a little shy on stick skills, then that can really be a thorn in their side. So let's see how Keystone handles this. They actually did get some nice little penetration there by the crease, just unfortunately not able to put it away there at the end.
Again, neither team has had a man-up opportunity yet this evening. Strope with the only 2 goals for Keystone. Works it around out to Curlett. Fires it off the mark.
But again, Keystone able to follow up the shot and maintain possession and keep the offense turned on. Let's see if they can pull something in from the left side here.
Strope on a long stick. You pretty much figure Marywood's going to do that against him all night.
And it's kind of interesting. We've got a couple of Keystone offensive players are trying what we call a swim move, where they're taking a one-handed cradle and they're trying to go over the top of the player. That particular move doesn't always have a high percentage success rate, so it's kind of interesting. Looks like a timeout there. Coach Lodato called a timeout because he wanted to set something up specific.
Timeout called by Keystone. So now it takes take a look at what Marywood has done through the year. They started out with a loss to Scranton. It was kind of unusual. Came back a couple wins. Up and down year, I would think, for the Pacers. Couple wins, I know. Couple games in there. We talked to Coach Burrell about he thought he could win. One of those was Kings, and the other one's on the second page against Gwynn and Mercy. They'll play on Saturday. So a couple games got away for him. That's what Marywood has done through the year. 7-7, trying to get their 8th win of the year here tonight in La Plume. They're on their way, 11-2 the score. Game pretty much dominated by the Pacers. So after the timeout, it will be Keystone ball outside the box.
Now, it was a Keystone timeout, so Coach Lodato has tried to set up something specific here. Let's see what Keystone's going to wind up trying to accomplish. Let's get some off-ball movement. Maybe they're looking to get a particular matchup. Like I mentioned before, holding the ball just a little too long, and that's going to cause a problem. We do have a flag down on this one, so you're going to get that first man-up opportunity
First man up, huh?
you were asking for.
I wasn't asking for it. I was just stating a fact.
Okay, well, here it comes. Yeah, we're going for a ground ball. Yeah, now that's, I'm sorry, but when there's a ground ball situation, you got to go for the ball. Go play the ball there, not. Now, as we mentioned in our earlier broadcast today, the men's game can get a little physical, and
so it's a 30-second penalty, Matt Dudley. So a man-up chance for Keystone. Keystone on the year and the man-up, just 8 for 34. Marywood on the year for the opponents, man-up 18 of 42. They have given up 18 goals. 6 seconds on the man-up. Strope fires it, and he connects.
So they're able to capitalize on that. That's got to be big. That's got to be good.
3 goals tonight for the leading scorer for the Giants. And he cuts the lead to 11-3, 4:17 remaining.
Yeah, there's a nice shot. It's from very far out. Usually the goalie has the benefit at that distance, but right there, very nice shot. Here it is coming right at us. You can see, oh yeah, he took it.
Five-hole?
Yeah, I think that went down there, yeah. Yeah, number 22 took advantage of the fact that his defenseman was kind of screening the goalie. Maybe the goalie couldn't, see his shot cleanly, and that made it more difficult. So that's a smart offensive play to use the defensive players like that.
I mean, there are some positive things in Keystone games. You can just tell the experience and just a little bit on the side of Marywood. That's all it is. They do have talent on the side of Keystone.
Yep. And when we were talking with Coach Lodato earlier in this week, he did mention about how, this is his second season, so he's been getting more players interested. He's getting more experienced players interested, and it's building for him. And that's a good thing. We're up here at Keystone College, great facility here, but it's not like a hotbed of lacrosse. So he's got to take what he's given and make the best that he can with it, and I think he's I'm seeing some positive things out here.
This will actually be the last regular season meeting between these two teams as CSAC members, because Marywood going on to a new conference next year along with Cabrini. While Keystone stays in the current CSAC, they'll add a couple of teams in that, so look a little bit different. They probably will meet in a non-conference game, but earlier in the season.
Well, and that would make sense with the close proximity. That's a very good save there by the Keystone goalie. Nice save. Mary was trying to push in as far as that shooter could get, and now here we go with another one of these.
Vasquez just sends it down.
Long passes.
Oh, right into
it worked out for him.
It did work out. Pollard Brock with a one-handed grab.
Yep.
Possession opportunity now for the Giants. And we're about 2.5 minutes away from halftime here in La Plume. Aaron Dugan will join us at halftime with a very special story. You'll want to stay tuned for that. So let's set it up. Strope, even as a midi, plays a lot behind the cage.
I figure he's probably going to go back there, try to get some kind of isolation, and then see what develops as he cuts in. Unfortunately, that didn't work out in his benefit.
Found two long sticks along the way. That's not fun. Transition opportunity. Good defense.
Very good defense. A nice little interception there. Knocked the ball down. That slowed things way down.
Brendan Brown, the long stick out of New York, got it.
Great job for him. There. Yeah, good job for him, because Marywood was coming on that one. So, and Marywood is still rotating some people out. They want to get certain people on the field. Probably want to see how they're playing together.
Through three guys and knocked down for Marywood. That looked like number 44. Metaranda knocked down, but Marywood with rotation. Now you can see that coming from this side. Tough shot for Vasquez to pull in, and it's another goal for the Pacers. And make that another goal, too, for number 12, Shedler, his third of the evening.
Yeah, and he's got a nice aim right here. This one he puts just inside the pipe, so they're not hitting the pipe. They're good. They've improved that way. He was able to put it right behind the net here. You can see it goes just inside, and that ball was moving pretty fast. It was a tough save for the goalie.
His highest goal output of the season. He's just a junior. Marywood's 30th shot of the game, compared to just 6 for Keystone. Ground ball, won by the Giants, but it's knocked quickly out of his stick. Foul the bouncing ball. Matt Harris out of Lackawanna Trail picks it up. And the big junior trying to do something with it. kinds of whacking going on there. Bob.
Yeah, you know, those checks always bother me. When a check starts way up above your head, the stick is way above your head, and then it comes down hard, it's kind of obvious that you're not going for the ground ball. You're just going for a check. And, you know, the opposite player has his head down or something. It's just always a dangerous situation. Those are never my my favorite ones to work with there.
So Maney going to be guarded by Harris. We're about 15 seconds away from the half. But all Pacers here from the outset score the first 3 goals of the game.
Bob, you mentioned this. Well, we'll talk about the shots when we come back to the broadcast.
And that will do it. So 1 half in the books here in La Plume. And it's been all Marywood. They lead at the half, 12-3.
Keystone College presents Men's College Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.
So you're good.
You don't need me in the picture.
Oh, you left. Yeah.
12-3 Marywood over Keystone. We thank you so much for joining us. We have a very special guest with us now. This is Allison Ritter, the head softball coach. And last year was your first year, right?
It was, yeah.
How did things go for you?
Pretty good. We're right in the middle of the pack. We're just finishing up our second season right now.
Well, Allison, you recently made national headlines with a pretty selfless and incredible act. Can you tell us what you did for a former supporter of yours?
Absolutely. I actually donated a kidney to a friend from college back on Halloween.
How did that come about?
Just a Facebook post. Social media is an incredible thing. And he put a post out saying that he went into end-stage renal failure and needed somebody to be a match. And I reached out and led to this.
Was it something that you kind of, figured out immediately, or do you think about it for a while?
Actually, I didn't even think twice. Basically sent him a message just saying, if I'd be a match, I'm yours. And did all the testing and the process. And, it was a five-month thing and finally made the decision. And here we are. So it's very rewarding on my end as well. So I'm extremely grateful that I was able to help him out.
I'm sure he's extremely grateful. What has he said to you throughout this process?
It's funny because it's actually made us a little bit closer. We were close in college, but lost touch after college and after graduation, and to be able to reconnect. And you never want it to be in this capacity necessarily, but it was a great way to reconnect. And we talk now. We send messages and we send random mail and get to talk to each other. I actually saw him in February, so he's doing really well.
That's great to hear. And how about the college and even your players? What was their response?
Nothing but supportive, super supportive. Dr. Matt Grimaldi, our athletic director, Dr. Janine Becker, Dr. Coppola, we're all on board with it. Dr. Grimaldi knew about it from day one when I started the testing. My kids actually didn't find out until 2 weeks before surgery. They were very supportive about it, and I had a lot of questions, but I tried to spin it in a way that it would be, help people. It doesn't have to be in the capacity to donate an organ. Hold the door open for somebody, donate blood, help somebody who seems to be having a rough day. Just basically help somebody any way that you can.
Really great message in this day and age. Thank you so much. I think you're pretty darn incredible.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, stay with us. We'll have much more when we come right back here on MyTV WQMY.
We are back to a rainy campus at Keystone College. The Giants trail the Pacers at the half, 12-3. Back inside the dry booth, Bob Vanderheyden, Coach Van, and I'm Bob Ide. Glad you could join us for college lacrosse here on MyTV. As expected, Pacers coming in with a better record, a little bit better program. They've dominated from the outset.
Yeah, and the discipline definitely shows. The discipline and the experience. They're able to put together what they're looking to put together and control the game like we had mentioned in our opening segment.
What have you seen from Keystone that gives you signs that, they're going to be okay in the long run?
Well, we talked about the athleticism. They've definitely got some athletes out there on the field. They just need to work a little bit more with the actual lacrosse specifics. Things like maybe faster slide on defense, maybe playing a little more aggressively on defense. Once they start working on those, I'm sure we'll see a lot more from their defense. On the offensive side, they've got to work together a little more as a unit instead of just kind of one guy trying to do it. They've got to work together as a unit and share the ball, and they'll be all right. They'll be all right in the future.
Okay, let's take a look at some first half highlights. As we mentioned, Pacers got off to that quick start. A couple goals in there by Dingwell and also Luke Shedler. Put up a couple. Strobe, he had 3 goals for Keystone. Now this guy Maney, though, did a nice job. He has 3 goals. He has 100 on the season. Matt Casto also got in on it.
Yeah, Marywood was just pushing it right from the very get-go there. I think they won the very first face-off, and then from there they've just been running and gunning as much as they can. They did have times when they were working together as a unit, moving the ball around, but for the most part, most of their shots came off of one guy going to the goal. So it was a good thing. And Keystone was getting some stuff out there as well. They were pushing. They're doing what they can.
So we'll take a break. As you can see, the rain's still coming down here on the turf at Keystone. In the third quarter, we'll be joined by a US Lacrosse representative who's in town for tonight's events. That's on the other side.
Keystone College presents Men's College Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by US Lacrosse.
We're starting the wet third quarter with a brand new ball, I'm sure. Marywood up, and they'll have a 1-minute man-up opportunity to extend their lead. As we have a Keystone Giant, Brendan Brown, in the box for a minute. That happened at the end of the second quarter. And the Pacers now going to work this one around.
So, Bob, we talked about defense, and I talked about Keystone having to be a little more proactive on defense in a man-down situation. They have definitely got to be more proactive on defense, and that was a nice stop there by the goalie.
New goalie, too, Dean Orofino, the sophomore out of Staten Island, makes a big save.
Makes a big save and a big clearing pass. We got a big fight going down on the Keystone offensive end of the field.
That may kill off the penalty, as we have about 8 seconds left on that. And then we'll be back to even strength.
And Marywood's just going to bring it down. And, oh, wow.
Corlett grabbed the long stick, and we have a goal quickly for the Pacers. Don't put your head down, because Marywood might score. Blink.
Once again, a Marywood player
just
able to get right over on the crease. And he just kind of all of a sudden appeared there. Marywood saw the opportunity, got him the ball, and he put it in the goal. Here it is. You can see.
Too easy, huh?
Yeah, they're just kind of sneaking around the defense. And one Keystone defensive player started beating himself up there. You got to just brush that off and play the next play. Don't worry about the last one. It's already gone by.
So back to the face-offs, and it has not been a face-off victory for Keystone tonight. They're just 5 of 17 on the face-offs. Littman does a nice job. He's been around a long time for the Pacers. This picked up, though, by Keystone. Shot opportunity, and they get one back. Corlett from outside.
I'll tell you, that one was right from the face-off there. Short, quick little ground ball, a couple of quick passes, and took advantage of that shot. It's coming from a little bit far outside. Yeah, here's that first pass over, and then just a cradle, and then a shot. Nice low shot, forced the goalie to get down.
And that was a nice pass from the freshman Kuski out of Lake Lehman. Found the open player. In the booth with us from US Lacrosse, and staying warm now, hopefully, Andy O'Connor. She's been here all afternoon for the girls' game. They went through the youth clinic, which we'll talk about shortly, and now we're on to the men's game tonight.
Nice save. That was a good save by the Keystone goalie. We were talking with Coach Lodato earlier this week, and he did say that he's got 2 solid goalies with 2 different styles. So, he switched the goalies at halftime. Maybe that's going to make a difference. Let's see if Marywood adjusts or if they just keep trying to do the same thing again.
So, Andy, you did the youth clinic. It was for girls this year. Nice. I think we had a great turnout. Let's see if we get a shot here. I think we had one of our better turnouts for the youth here tonight, right in front, off the mark, and I thought it was successful.
There was at least 50 girls there.
Yeah.
It's nice, and they all had fun. That was the important thing.
It looked like it, and they were all excited to be here, and it didn't rain, so that was a bonus. And what did you go through with them?
Fundamentals, working on basic skills and keeping it fun.
Flag down. It's going to go against Keystone, I think.
Yeah, there's some rough checks in there.
Yep.
Now we're starting to see the rough part of the game come out. Yeah, in that clinic, we did have a lot of girls out there, a lot of smiles, a lot of movement. We had a whole lot of games. What did you have them doing down at your end of the field? What were you?
They were adapting skills they learned in softball to catching and throwing in lacrosse.
There you go.
So we have Keystone, 1 minute penalty. John Poblaski, a freshman out of Goshen, New York. So he'll sit out, and Marywood's opportunity now in the man up. They're 14 of 60 on the year. Make that 15 of 61. That was quick. Outside shot.
I'll tell you, Bob, that was a lot of quick ball movement. That was that was why that one was so successful. That was that fast game that Coach was talking about. We had a couple of 2-3 passes, and then it looks like that shot came while the goalie was adjusting back into his ready stance. Whenever I'm talking with goalies or working with goalies, I always talk about the importance of staying in that ready stance all the way through the ball movement, so that all you have to do is go from your ready stance to the ball, and that's it. So Marywood was able to capitalize on the goalie moving in the crease, and well, they were able to put the ball in the back of the net.
Or check. Another face-off won by the Pacers.
Now, Andy, in that clinic that we were running, it's always fun to do those clinics with a lot of younger kids because you just see their smiles. We had a lot of girls out there. It was their first year, so they're just learning how to use the equipment and running around and just having fun, playing games, and that's just always so great because then they really get into it, get into the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was great to hear the excitement and the growth in the region. That the increase in the number of kids that have come out over the past couple years, both in the men's and the women's game. There's a lot of excitement about the game. There's a lot of crossover opportunities for sports. Kids playing football in the men's game, playing. It's a good cross-training opportunity.
It definitely is, and I've said it, a number of times in these different broadcasts. The lacrosse game is so dependent on the all-around athlete. Not just the strongest, the fastest, but you just got to be an all-around strong athlete, and so it does lend itself to great off-season for other sports, but it's also a great sport unto itself. So it's not like just a hobby to do.
What I ask all coaches, because my son plays, is should my son just concentrate on lacrosse or play other sports? And to every coach, multiple sports, play multiple sports, and let them have fun. And I agree, I totally agree with that. But I like to ask the question.
Yes, and by playing multiple sports, there's the crossover. I don't know if there's one of the best running backs from the Ravens this past year.
Yep.
Played lacrosse, and he attributed a lot of his success this past season.
And the Patriots receiver too played lacrosse.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Penn State. He played lacrosse at
Yep.
Penn State.
Penn State. Yep.
And we all know, Coach Belichick is a huge lacrosse fan.
Yes,
so
he is.
Yeah, if you search on YouTube, there's why the NFL likes lacrosse players.
There you go. There you go. Lacrosse. I tell you what, I love the sport. I'm passionate about it. I'll help anybody that wants to get better at the game of lacrosse, whether it's young kids just getting into the sport, just getting a stick in their hand for the first time, or it's a college player that wants to work on one aspect of his game or her game. I'll help anybody if I can help them. And if I don't have the knowledge, I find somebody who can. So that's why I love talking with you guys at US Lacrosse, because it's a great network of people. Yourself, TJ Buchanan, Dara Roberts, or Her last name has just changed recently, right?
It's yes. What? I can't even.
I know. None of us can say it. I'm just going to
Okay.
call
Well, we're going to tell you Keystone has an opportunity. Man up, 30-second offsides against Marywood. I believe serving that is P.J. Matarazzo, a freshman out of Delaware Valley High School, one of our local guys. And that's, I think, how we can tell, too, is a lot of these guys now playing local lacrosse around here, getting recruited and playing even at Division III level. Not up there, but at least now their skills are good enough where they can play college lacrosse.
Yes.
And I think that shows the growth.
Yeah, and they're getting challenged, challenged to get better and better and better. I mentioned it before. Coach Lodato said a lot of his players that are athletes and that played maybe a little bit of lacrosse before, they get exposed to this game at the college level, and it's so much faster, so much more challenging that they've got to step up their game, step up to the challenge, and perform out on the field.
So one of the things U.S. Lacrosse wants to make sure parents are aware of, and program leaders, there's coach education opportunities, resources available on our website through membership access, mobile coach app. You can get practice plans for an entire season on your phone, and we want to support the growth, and that's what U.S. Lacrosse membership
44,
is
I think.
doing.
Definitely. Here's another replay on the shot. Nice little penetration in there, close to the crease, and put a nice shot in. High, down low, and they're starting to kind of frustrate the goalies on the Keystone side there.
Bit of a rondo with that goal. And here are the CSAC standings heading into tonight. Cabrini, Gwynn, and Mercy, Marywood in there looking to improve to 5-2 Centenary. So I think it's pretty much set. The only thing we have to find out is what happens with Centenary and Newman and who will play against Cabrini, which is a difficult situation to get into when you're top 10 team in the country in Division III.
A lot of people, when they're looking at college sports, they're focusing in on the NCAA D1 level, D2. There are a lot of opportunities at D3 level schools to play lacrosse. If you look at the NCAA finals that happen in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, there's a bunch of D1 games. Then there's some D2, and there are a lot of D3. So there's a lot of opportunities to play the game at this level, and it's still a very challenging level. As you can see right there, that was a very nice move right before the shot.
Austin Mailer, senior midi. Derry, New Hampshire, number 17.
Yeah, he was able to break through a bunch of defensemen, and then he just used his entire reach to really put some speed on that shot there.
Second goal of the night for Mailer.
Andy, you mentioned before the resources available at U.S. Lacrosse for program leaders and parents and coaches. I go to them frequently when I'm doing my practice planning, usually the day before, and I'll go through and even if I've seen a drill before, used a drill, I like going back and just seeing like a video of it run again, just to remind myself, or maybe how can I tweak this to help my team get better. So a lot of great resources there.
And we want to encourage parents to come out to practices, learn the game, so they can help support. Everybody always needs coaches, and if you're coaching basketball or soccer, there's a lot of crossover. You can learn the game and use your skills from other sports to help teach the kids.
I find that often. A lot of people, will say to me, oh, well, I never played this game before, and I don't know if I could do it. And I just tell them, just get out on the field and try. I love it when a parent puts a stick in their hand and they try, and they show the kid how to try. Because us as coaches, we keep asking the kids, just try. So when a parent does that, an adult
That's what I did.
That's what you do, Bob. Exactly.
5 years ago, my son wanted the sport to play, and we did some Marywood games. We did some lacrosse games on TV. He did a sport to play, said try lacrosse. He was 6, and I taught myself to play lacrosse. And we have a goal in our backyard, and we play now, and I love it. So I hope that translates over to my son. Sometimes I wonder, but that's, but he's sticking with it, and we get to play.
You know what? And I bet he loves having you come out and play with him. So it's giving you something to do together as a family and learn together.
Yeah, get off the internet and get out and play lacrosse.
Yeah. play something.
Yes.
So we enjoy it. I don't know, sometimes he likes me be coaching, being that dual role, and it's tough, but we get through it. We're learning. So we're back to even strength here. 12 goal lead for Marywood.
And Bob, Marywood is still playing that really
pressing out.
Just missed out. Yeah, exactly, Andy. They're really pressing out there. They're really pushing.
Okay, we're gonna stay here, but we're gonna join Aaron now, staying dry, and she has a special guest. Aaron?
Staying dry, I don't know, maybe that's you, Bob. Not quite me. I do have a special guest now. This is Joe Schneck, the men's soccer coach. A lot of success last season. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we had a great year. We had a great bunch of guys. Found a way to make plays at the right times, and we were able to make it all the way to the conference final. Unfortunately, the season ended a little bit shorter than the goal, but a really fun group to coach. Yeah.
And they were a very special group to you, right?
It was, yeah. That was my first group of recruiting class that came in that were seniors this past year. So those 5 guys are moving on after the season. But really proud of that group, everything they kind of helped establish in terms of the culture of the program, and really excited for them for their futures.
How tough are they going to be to replace?
Yeah, it's a lot of leadership to have to replace, and just kind of the experience is hard. But of course, the excitement of coaching college teams is that you get a new group of guys in, and the guys who haven't had to have leadership roles before kind of step up into new roles.
So what's the off season like for you?
So right now we're in the actually our last week of the spring. So we have 2 training sessions left, and then we have our spring game this Saturday at the University of Scranton, and then we have our alumni game on Sunday, and that'll conclude our spring season.
Well, best of luck, and thanks for stopping by to chat.
Thanks for having me.
Back to you guys.
I admit, Aaron, you're trying to stay dry. You're a trooper. You are a trooper out there. I guarantee. Every time it rains or something, you're right out there. You're right out there.
And she keeps smiling.
And she does. She does keep smiling. And unfortunately for us, this is Aaron's last game with us here on My TV. She's moving on to, we think, bigger and better things. And, boy, it's been a great 10 years. I know you've been part of it, Bob. And but I'm telling you, she's been a huge part of the success here at Fox 56 Sports as the Pacers put in another goal. And extend that lead 5-52, and we'll let Aaron say her goodbyes later on. She still has some work to do. We're still going to work her right to the last minute.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Marywood is doing that, too. They're working out here to the end of the game. Keystone is working to the end of the game. Nobody is hanging their head yet. It is a little tough playing in the rain.
Yep.
Last game of the season. It can be a little difficult.
Well,
but
these seniors, you know what? It's a team, and they're playing hard to the end. Everybody on that team wants to support their seniors.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
That's the great thing about lacrosse and it being a team sport. No matter what, you never give up, and you're always trying to help each other out.
And working together as a team. That's my biggest thing is teamwork. So when you've got either an offensive squad or defensive squad, they go out there. It's not just one person and carrying the weight. It's a group. Right here we've got 3 attackmen, 3 middies. They're working against 3 defense and 3 other middies, trying to do the best that they can. That ball looks like it's getting a little slippery out there. It's starting to pop out of the nets and the sticks. Yeah, when you start seeing catches like that where they've got to jump high, I bet that the rain is having an effect on the.
It's been pretty steady since the game started, and it's picked up intensity. Probably the heaviest of the night.
Yeah, we did have some clear skies doing that clinic, and I think right at the end of the clinic, I started feeling it coming down. So.
Speaking of the clinic, again, you guys mentioned it a little bit. Where there's Coach Van out there. Some of the things, this is some early shots, and I think you're practicing shooting on that one.
On that one, yep. We were just taking some shots on goals. It's always fun. But we got some players here. They were just doing some passing and some catching, a lot of different lacrosse skills. I always love it, working with a group of kids like this. We just have as much fun as we can do. Here I am, spread out, get out there, get yourself some space. It's a lot of fun just to get out there on the field and have something done. Here's the Abington Heights coach, Becky Davis. She was helping us out there on the field there. Yep, helping somebody with a little stick adjustment. And then we get some players for some throw and some catching. Yeah, we were able to cover that field pretty well, I think. A lot of girls out there. A lot of them from the Scranton program, but then there were some other ones
from Back Mountain, from Lakeland. Yeah.
Yeah. See, we had a pretty good.
We had a great group of kids come out. And again, this is our third year doing this, and I think this was one of the bigger ones. At Crestwood, we had a nice turnout.
Crestwood.
Last year at Marywood, we had some Scranton kids.
Yes, we did. Yeah, Crestwood was a good turnout a couple years ago, and Scranton. I think there was mainly Scranton boys at Marywood right, last year, right? Yeah, so they came out. We ran them through a bunch of drills. And actually, Andy, that one, I also worked with a lot of coaches, too, because there were a lot of coaches that had questions about drills and skills and what should they focus on and so forth. So, we incorporated coaches last year a little bit as well, which is always a good thing.
Yes.
Oh. Marywood just making it look too easy.
Wow. That was a nice bounce shot.
It's like 12 again?
Again, yeah. From that close, that bounce shot.
Shedler, he's got 4 tonight.
That was actually, he was standing, I think, just off the crease. Yeah, he just bounced it right down underneath the goalie when the goalie went up. Goalie went up, shot went down.
It's hard to stop it when they're right on the crease.
Yes. Yeah, that's the difficult part. That's when, as a goalie, you really need your defense to come and slide quick, hard, and fast, and take care of those shooters that are able to get in close to the crease there.
Alex Lunsman out of New Jersey, junior midi, scored that, number 11. So some of the backups now playing for Marywood. Unfortunately, there's not that many backups for Keystone. They played just about everyone standing over there. And Coach Lodato back on the recruiting trail, asked some good kids coming in, he said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take some time here to build the program.
Well, with the other facility improvements that they're planning on doing in the next year or two, that'll always, that'll help with recruiting. High school kids come out, they take a look at it, and they're like, oh, great, I want to go there, and hopefully that'll help him out. I kind of was saying it before, if he can get a couple of wins under his belt, that definitely will help the recruiting process.
It will help now Cabrini and Marywood are going to this new conference where now Keystone will stay back, add a couple teams, probably not as strong in lacrosse as the two teams
Cabrini
leaving.
was.
So
Gotcha.
It will even out because of that.
And that I would assume that's probably why they're also rearranging the.
Well,
the
there's
conferences.
other things behind it, academics and other things that the schools are leaving. But
if you can
lacrosse will be a little bit some changes in lacrosse, yeah.
Sure, but if you can kind of even up the competition a little bit, then you can get growth from everyone, and then every program can grow and become stronger. Rather than having one team or two teams dominating a league. Nice save there. Oh, and we have another one of those long distance clearing passes. And I think they've tried that 4 or 5 times this evening. It hasn't worked out too much. So I think they're going to need to start using their middies on their clears.
Marywood is in a man up. 30 seconds on that man up as Brown is back in the penalty area. Marywood throws this one away.
Killing the penalty, hopefully, for Keystone. I think that's the goalie's intention with those long
passes. Yeah, just kind of hoping if he can Hail Mary, get it up to somebody on his team up there, they can run out the last 10 seconds of the penalty there. Yeah, it looks like we're even strength now.
Yeah. Ironically, both teams, after the weather situations we had all year, ending the regular season in rain. You know, they had snow, cold weather. Now it's rain. It's just been brutal on scheduling, on games, and just about everybody is trying to be outside. We're back to even strength. About 90 seconds left in this third quarter. This game dominated by the Pacers.
Yeah, it looks like Marywood is letting one of their long sticks
Yeah,
go
I
up
saw
and get a little run at on offense. I think that was a long stick midi that found his time up there.
We asked Coach about that, too, about being disciplined throughout the game and not letting the kids freewheel a little bit just because they didn't want to pick up bad habits. Nice pass the other side. Oh, that hit the pipe.
The pipe again. The dreaded pipe. I'll tell you, they're getting really good at the pipe shot.
So another chance for Marywood now. On the outside.
I can hear a lot of communication, which is good. We're all the way up here in the booth, and I can still hear the teams talking and the communication. It's so key.
I think a Ward or something. Goes over to the Giants from Keystone College. 30 seconds left in this quarter. Keystone has struggled all year with the clear. They've struggled tonight as well.
Well, not sure about that. Oh, here we go. Now we got it on a bounce. Okay. So there's one of those long distance passes that has worked for them.
Here's Strope.
That low attacker was free.
Mm-hmm.
And with 7 seconds left in the quarter, Joe Lodato is going to call timeout and try to set something up to get a quick score to end the quarter. As you see the rain and just coming down now in buckets.
Well, Bob, you had mentioned, keeping their focus on the game here. When we talked with Coach Burrell from Marywood, he did mention that what he'd like to do is keep the guys ready to go for the postseason. So he doesn't want to give them. He wants to give them some room to get out on the field and be creative, but not too much room. So, and here's the rest of the season for Keystone.
Some close games in there, but again, a lot of games in the 20s against the other team, and that's what you're going to see when you're a team fourth year of existence.
Yeah.
A couple games I think that they probably should have won in there. Mount St. Vincent, I was here. It was raining that night as well. Had an opportunity for their victory. They did get a win last year against Farmingdale, so they do have a win in the last couple years, but been a struggle for Keystone. Trying to get a shot, double team to Strope. And that will do it. The horn sounds, 3 quarters in the books here in La Plume, and it's been all Pacers here tonight. We'll be right back. Three quarters in the books here in La Plume. Keystone trails Marywood 18-5 as the rain continues to pour down on the turf field here at Keystone College. It's been a game, of course, dominated by the Pacers from the faceoffs. They've won 19 of 25, where Keystone just 6 wins in there. Marywood has 48 shots. They have 18 goals. Keystone just 9 shots and 5 goals. And ground balls, of course, you figure dominated by Marywood 31-14. So off the face-off for the fourth. Still trying to picked up, and it is taken by Keystone. And it goes right into the goalie net.
Now that was one of those ground balls that Coach Lodato was talking about. Those contested ground balls right off of the situation like there where anybody could come up with it. 50-50 ground balls, he calls them. And Keystone was able to come up with the ball. Unfortunately, they may have taken that shot a little bit too soon. Maybe 3 or 4 more steps towards the goal, and that could have a different outcome. They're at the point now, fourth quarter, they're down by 13. Once they get the ball up on the offensive end of the field, they got to get some shots off quick. But they've got to be good shots. We were talking before, you had the stat for how many shots each team has taken. When I talk with different coaches in the area, it's the coaches that understand we can put out 5 shots in a certain amount of time are usually a little more successful because they're able to understand how their team controls the pace of the game. So they can look up at the clock, do the math, and figure out we need to get 5 shots in the next minute or whatever it may be. It's difficult when you only have 1 or 2 shooters on a team and you need an entire offense to get the ball to them so that they can get that shot off. So hopefully Coach Lodato can also build some more shooters into his lineup, and that will would hopefully have an impact. If they can get more shots off, hopefully they can get more goals. And I think that's really what they need to do here.
Some of the backups in there now on the offensive side for Marywood, as you might expect, with a 13-goal lead.
And that was all weather right there.
Oh, yeah.
Slipping around, and then that shot going high like that, it may be because the pocket is too deep or stretched out. Yeah, so we got a little slip here. Going down, and then this shot just goes high. That may have come out of the pocket a little bit too soon. Could have been because of how wet everything gets.
Another shot on goal off the mark. So Andy, I don't know if we talked about what region do you cover? I mean, you're in the hotbed of lacrosse, right? I mean, in the Mid-Atlantic area, Philadelphia,
Yes.
New York, and all that, and you must see some really good lacrosse on the women and men's side.
Yes, yes. I cover Long Island, New Jersey, Philly, Eastern Shore of Maryland, Delaware. But what's really been interesting is in Long Island, the Nassau County PAL, they had a league there for over 20 years, and all of their coaches went through the U.S. Lacrosse Level 1 training this spring. That was a requirement of the league, so they had a consistent experience for all kids.
And before that, they didn't go through it, huh? In a long time.
They had used different trainings and different requirements, and they said, here's U.S. Lacrosse is doing the research, has the science behind what they're teaching, and we want to give the best possible experience to the kids.
And I know that's what they're trying to do up here. I mean, slowly but surely, we're trying to get more coaching clinics, and with Bob's help and of course your help now, we're still in the infancy stages, really.
And that's what being up here, I want to work with the community to get it to schedule now for the 2018-2019 season, so parents and coaches and players know when we can have player clinics, coach clinics, and get it publicized ahead of time.
Just this past fall, we had a CDP Level 1 clinic down in Hatfield. Then we did another one in, I believe it was January in Northampton, right before the U.S. Lacrosse Convention that happens in January.
Which will be in Philadelphia this
Yes, coming to
January.
Philadelphia for the next 2 years. So
is it?
Looking
Yeah,
forward to that.
that's
Yep. So if you're next January, if you're in the Philly area or you're in the mood for lacrosse, come down to the Philly area.
Well, Baltimore is just a 3-hour ride. Philly's a 2-hour ride for most people in our area.
Up in this area.
But just getting the word out about it, I think, and keeping that communication up for people in this area is probably the key.
It is. I've been coming to the Scranton Northeast PA Youth League meeting that happens in December. Past couple of years, it's a great group of guys. Aaron Caparusco, president there. Paul Colalesi is usually around there. Becky Davis was there again this year and stuff. So it's a great group of people. They come together. They really want the kids to learn and get the experience and exposure to the game. Unfortunate for Keystone there on that one. They were moving the ball around pretty nice, and then all of a sudden, it just takes that one little slip. But yeah, the group of people that are up here that are involved with the Northeast PA youth program, it's a great group of people. Sometimes I feel a little bit bad for them just because the teams are so far away from each other. We've got a team all the way out in Milford that plays in it, and then down in Mountaintop, Back Mountain, Scranton. I think that Lakeland has got a youth program.
Yeah, Lakeland
yes.
start. Yep.
Yeah, they just got a youth program going this year. So there's more programs starting. A bunch of great people that are involved. Greg Copa, trying to just help grow the game, which is great because it just gives the kids fantastic opportunities. Oh, there's a nice opportunity right there for Keystone. Let's see if they can take advantage of this. Making passes and
nice ball movement.
Nice ball movement and nice rotation.
Save by the goalie.
Yeah.
We didn't. First time we get to talk about the Marywood goalie. They have changed goalies. Another freshman, Jared Chizola, a freshman, 5'9". He's in there at goal. He's been in this whole half, but we really haven't seen him stop anything or make any plays because Keystone hasn't had the ball that often.
Yeah, he hasn't been challenged. Oh, there we go. On that last one, you could also hear Marywood talking about rotate. So their defense is definitely working together, trying to cover those passes. So, Andy, you're right. There was really good passes. Unfortunately, the defense was ready for them. Unfortunately for Keystone, defense was ready for them.
I think now some people in the area are trying to do an off-season program. As a lot of teams, they call them travel teams, and the NEPA Pirates have been around. The Zombies in the Mountaintop area for boys, I should say, they've been around for almost a decade. But now up in Scranton area, Lakeland, and trying to get teams there for boys and girls now.
And I think Joe's planning on running a program this summer here at Keystone, and Ashley as well.
Well, that'll be great. That'll be great.
So look for opportunities here to play and develop skills here.
I know Aaron Caparusco and Brian Zabrowski over in the Mountaintop area over at Crestwood School District. They've got a youth program going.
Aaron's out in the rain. We have to get to her before she melts. Aaron, who do you have?
Well, Bob, we got a chance to see what the guys are all about, but let's talk with the women's lacrosse coach, Ashley Irwin, who also happens to be the field hockey coach. So tell us about your squad.
So this year we locally brought in a lot of local talent from the Wyoming Valley Conference. Pretty much say about 75% of our roster is field hockey lacrosse players, which does definitely help keep the stamina all year round. But a lot of our success is just until the fact that, these girls are playing all year round with each other. Gives you that extra opportunity to really get to know one another better, and as a coach, even know your players better in addition to.
So this program's been getting better every year. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I've been the head coach now for the past 3 years for women's lacrosse. Every year we get an extra notch in our belt, so to speak. Past 2 years, we've been fortunate enough this year we're returning back to playoffs for our second time program history. Currently have a 6-5 record, 500 overall in conference. Hopefully looking to cap that again this Saturday and keep the program going, so to speak. Past 2 years we've had both 100 goal scorers, 100-point scorers, 200-point scorers, numerous seniors, and we have a very up-and-coming sophomore that's also from the Wyoming Valley Conference that's on her way to 100 points, 100 goals, and everything else in her career as well.
It's awesome that you're getting that local talent funneled in here.
Yeah, so big, a lot of coaches, lacrosse is huge in the Maryland, Virginia areas, but locally, just over the past 10 years, really, lacrosse has really started to take off, especially in the Northeast PA region. Obviously, we are a big hotbed for women's field hockey for sure. However, lacrosse is it's taking over. There's a lot of high schools 15 to 20 schools right here in our backyard where these kids, they muscle through, and they're backyard players that do both hockey and lacrosse, and we've just really reaped the benefits in our program from it.
Awesome. Well, great job on getting the program on track, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
It's not.
Score for Marywood. Looked like number 10 who scored that. 19-5 your score. Big thank you to Ashley for helping out with the girls' game today, with the communications, with getting everything set up as Dallas and Abington played right here on the turf at 4 o'clock. We'll take a quick timeout. Last one of the night, 6:32 remaining in this game. Back at a rainy Keystone College. Time winding down. The Pacers out in front. Big advantage. Headed to the CSAC playoffs Saturday, most likely against Gwynn and Mercy. Keystone wrapping up a difficult season. Not unexpected, though, and you have a program that's been here just 4 years.
Bob, I will say that during Aaron's interview earlier, Keystone was down by 2 players, and they were still able to hold off, a scoring opportunity for Marywood. So that just says something about him. When you're down and you're playing 4 on 6 on the defensive end, and they were able to hold them off. And I think the goalie did have a pretty good save in there as well. That shows they're working. They're working hard. They're working with each other.
Shows they
Some of the younger players are in there too for the Pacers, so
Yes.
working on next year already a little bit.
Sure.
Keystone's showing grit, that they want to. They're building a program, building a culture.
Yeah, there haven't been any cheap shots. Sometimes the score gets this far away from each other, and you may start seeing some cheap shots.
Especially in a
out of
rivalry game like
Yes.
this, 2 schools next to each other.
And like you mentioned before, even though the league is going to change next year, or the conference is going to change, these 2 teams being as close as they are to one another geographically, they can continue this rivalry and turn this into a pretty good game between the 2 of them. So shows some promise for Keystone's future, and we've seen some good things for Marywood setting up their postseason play.
And to build on what Aaron and Ashley were talking about, the opportunities, the number of high schools that are playing lacrosse in this region now has expanded. And with that, there's not necessarily as many youth programs feeding all the high schools. There are opportunities from U.S. Lacrosse. The Lakeland School District received grants. We have a PE grant that can help introduce the game into the schools, if anybody has contacts within a school district, to help introduce it into schools, and then start to develop youth programs and build the programs up to the high schools.
Sean Higgins.
Yeah, that was a nice little bullseye shot right there. I think it put it right by the left ear of the goalie. He was lining that one up for a few minutes. We'll see here. Yep, right past his ear, and that was a really nice shot.
Fourth goal of the year for Higgins. 20-5 the score. WQMY, the sports continue. Major League Baseball. We have Mets, Phillies, and Yankees, but this is the upcoming schedule. A couple games. We have the Mets in San Diego, then a couple back-to-back Yankees games, one against Boston May 10th at 7. Your home for Major League Baseball is MyTV, WQMY. Strope now carry this one out. Andy, I want to thank you before we end this game for the support of U.S. Lacrosse. I know it was last-minute notice. We also want to thank Keystone College for helping us with this event. And it really, that's what Bob and I tried to do, is make this an event. And I think we're getting on the right path. And with your help from U.S. Lacrosse and from Keystone, hopefully next year we can continue it. And you know, as you saw the turnout tonight, I thought it was a great turnout. And we're getting the support of the local coaches, local high schools, and the local colleges.
Definitely. Yeah, Andy, thank you again for making the trip up here for the
It's my
clinic.
pleasure. It's exciting to see the growth here, and U.S. Lacrosse is happy to support the positive growth of the game and support all the efforts of the local volunteers doing all that they're doing.
I think, unfortunately, the weather was what it is tonight. But in, you know, like Bob had just mentioned, we're trying to grow each year. So the clinic between a doubleheader seems to be a format that we can work with and we can develop more. Hopefully in the future we can make it a little more so maybe when everybody comes to that clinic, they can then stay around.
Well, the weather,
Exactly.
the weather can help with that.
Yeah. And the one we did last year, I believe, down at Marywood, we also had a torrential downpour.
And some rain.
Yeah. So we got to check with Mother Nature when we schedule these live games.
Good luck.
Okay.
Timeout on the field.
And I want to take this opportunity to thank the community, the U.S. Lacrosse membership community in this region. Through the support of membership, U.S. Lacrosse is able to do what we're able to do, to develop the resources, to support the infrastructure of coaches' education, officials' education, programs and grants to include a diverse population, to give everyone the opportunity to participate and enjoy the game of lacrosse.
And did you see that youth age? They enjoy it. I was starting to talk about a program that Aaron and Brian have going over in Mountaintop, this little mini lacrosse stick type of thing. We played some games over there on Sunday, and then after when we were done, a bunch of kids just came running out on the field with their little sticks, and they just started playing softball and everything. You know, Aaron's got a great little thing going there. He's starting them off early.
Yes.
Fun. You know, kids are all laughing. They're having a great time, and it is a great sport. So they can get in and enjoy it and stick with it longer.
And they're smart because they're the high school coaches, some of the on the girls' side, but they're two of them. That's two successful programs at Crestwood now. Crestwood won the district title last year, and the girls are doing very well again this year. As we get a goal from Keystone, so you can see they're doing it the right way. They're starting young, and by the time they're in high school, the success is going on with them. Here, we'll take a look at the goal.
Scooped up a ground ball and just quickly put the ball in the back of the net there.
Matthew Grobelny, a senior out of New Jersey, 7th goal of the year. 1:16 left in this game.
And you know, Bob, when we did that one at Crestwood a couple years ago, after the game, the whole team went to a local restaurant, and the local restaurant had a party for them downstairs. You know, it was pizza out and everything. So to get that kind of community support for the team, I thought was fantastic. They invited me down there. I went down for a little bit, and I just thought it was great. They had a whole big pizza buffet set up for the kids. The parents were all there. Coaches were there. You know, the owners of the restaurant were all there. It was just great to see that whole community, you know, getting behind the team at the school. So that was a great thing that those guys are doing up there.
Last 45 seconds of this one. Marywood will finish the regular season 8-7. Keystone will drop to 0-14. Start building for next season. That starts tomorrow, I'm sure. Marywood will move on to the CSAC playoffs Saturday. So a great day of lacrosse here at Keystone College. A big thank you to Dr. Matthew Grimaldi, the Director of Athletics. Joe Lodato, we saw Ashley in there. Kevin Southard, the SID here, interim, nodding his head. Huge help. We couldn't do it because we're like a family, and we couldn't do it with all of our volunteers as well. And a big thank you to the crew. So, horn sounds. This men's lacrosse game is in the books, and the final score will read 20-6. Andy, thank you very much. We'll talk to you after. Stay dry. You can stay in here with Bob. When we come back, Aaron Dugan will have an interview with the Marywood coach on the field, and that's right after this.
Coach, wrapping up a fantastic regular season. What sticks out for you?
Just going hard. I think we started to focus on the little things, just the ground balls and the clearing game and all that kind of stuff. That's really what wins games, no matter what level you're at. Those stats that a lot of people don't really see is really what's going to win the games. And I think we've been focusing on that in the past 5 or 6 games here, and that's really set us up for success going into the semifinals, CSAC.
What's the focus heading into the playoffs?
Win. All right. I mean, we just gotta keep doing what we're doing. We'll put a few things in here and there, but for the most part, we're gonna keep executing what we've been doing. We got a senior class that's gonna be leading us, and a lot of it has to come down to if they wanna make it happen, they want to go out hard and finish right. So we'll see how we go. We got another 2 days here, and we'll be ready for that.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Bob. Back to
Okay,
you.
Aaron, last throw to me. At least you
Should I
got
do
my
a little
name right.
twirl?
Do a little twirl.
Back to you, Bob. My very last one. Gonna
Very
miss the crew, and I want to thank everybody so much, all the viewers who watched me for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to end it in the rain. I ended the rain, but it's apropos, though, right? The way the 10 years have gone, we've gone through snowstorms, rainstorms, hot weather, cold weather. You've endured it all, and you're the only one sometimes that endures it besides the camera people who do a phenomenal job as well, but you're always out there.
Thanks. I'm going to miss the crew a lot. Love you guys.
Good luck, Aaron. And Aaron is getting married soon, too, so congratulations on that. So, great week. So that's going to wrap it up here. Rain is pouring. Time for us to clean up. Thanks to the entire Fox 76 Sports crew. Thanks to U.S. Lacrosse, Keystone College, Andy, Bob, Bye-bye, the coaches saying so long for Marywood. And there's your final score. Great day of lacrosse here on campus.
Keystone College presents Men's College Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by U.S. Lacrosse.